Hi, I'm Mitchell Proner. We just had a successful day in court. My associate, Daisy Koch. We had a case that seemed like a small accident initially. It was a construction worker that was installing a rack refrigeration system into the basement of a supermarket and fell down a ramp, sustaining a cut on his forearm that required 4 stitches in the emergency room. At first, it seemed like a small case. Afterwards, it got infected. It turned out there was a little piece of metal in there that needed to be removed with a secondary surgical procedure. My client had ongoing shoulder, neck and back, and headaches. The shoulder ended up requiring arthroscopic surgery. The neck required a procedure called an ACDF, anterior cervical discectomy and fusion, which is a pretty serious surgery. And worst of all, the headaches came with other problems. He got diagnosed with a mild traumatic brain, and a special test called an MRI with diffuse tensor imaging and neuroquant showed brain atrophy in the left temporal lobe, meaning there was permanent damage structurally. We demanded $2.5 million. The supermarket said 1.8. They said they would pay any number as long as it didn't begin with a 2. My client considered the offer and said he was prepared to go to trial. The jury came back, $36.4 million. It was a good day in court. At Proner & Proner, we're going to try and get you a settlement as quickly as possible for as much money as possible. But if the offer is inadequate and you want to go to trial, we're prepared to try the case and do what it takes to win. Proner & Proner. To consult with us is always free and confidential.
All right. Hello, everyone. And today we are going to discuss the topic of biker bias. Discrimination and bias can significantly affect the amount of money you receive for a motorcycle accident case. Welcome to MotoTalks with Mitch and Mel, brought to you by Proner & Proner, a law firm with a global presence and expertise that feels local and personal. I'm your host and fellow writer, Mel Maguia. We'll be sitting down with a personal injury expert and writer, Mitch Proner, a lawyer with over 30 years of experience and a writer for over 40 years, to answer your questions and share insights you'll find useful in the personal injury world. Now, before we get started, remember, all consultations are free and confidential. Reach us at any time at 1-800-321-1234. How are you doing, Mitch? Welcome back.
Doing well. So it's an interesting topic. There is bias. And representing riders for over 30, 35 years, and having tried more motorcycle accident cases than probably any other attorney on the planet, I can tell you there is bias.
Yeah.
So here's the story. You could be trying to settle a case, and an insurance adjuster could tell you, you're not going to get that kind of money at trial. Nobody likes motorcycles. Nobody likes motorcycles? Then when you're picking a jury, there might be one person in the room that has a motorcycle, and they're going to get bounced by the other side. They could use a peremptory challenge. You get challenges when you pick a jury, challenges for cause where somebody openly expresses bias or a preference or some issue. They know one of the witnesses, or peremptory. You don't even have to say why. You just need a race-neutral reason. So you're not going to get the people that openly express their love for motorcycles. Now, and then the bias for against motorcyclists can be insidious. And for example, one time I'm picking a jury, and one of the jurors says, I don't think I have any bias against riders. I would just need to know a little more about what kind of bike they were riding, because some types of motorcycles are more likely to have people that speed. So if you said you represented your client in a motor vehicle accident, now maybe if your client was driving a turbo Porsche
Okay.
or a Lamborghini or something like that, they would think, well, maybe that guy was, whatever. But if you just said I'm representing somebody for a motor vehicle accident case, they wouldn't say, I don't have a bias against cars, but I would need to know what kind of car they would drive. Right away, you're expressing a bias.
Yeah.
So there is a bias, but having a bias doesn't mean you can't get your fair day in court. So I just finished the trial, and my client was an undocumented Mexican working without papers, getting paid in cash, no proof of his lost earnings. And the witnesses, his co-workers, were against him, blaming him for the incident.
Wow.
And his initial treatment didn't show the gravity and the seriousness of his injuries. He was treated and released from the emergency room. No positive x-rays, no fractures. But later on, he had 2 surgeries and recurring headaches, and he was diagnosed with a brain injury. We had demanded 2.5 million. The other side only offered 1.8. Jury came back with 36.4 million. It was a long trial, and it was a lot of work. It didn't just happen by wishing. It really was a lot of work.
Right.
It was working 7 days a week, late at night, every day, without break. The case started before Thanksgiving and didn't finish up till February 2nd. So it wasn't like it was a hard fought. I was going against 2 seasoned attorneys, very experienced attorneys. Both of them were partners in their firm. I'm not going against attorneys anymore at this stage of my career where people don't know what they're doing. Those days are long gone. Insurance carriers, they had other attorneys watching,
Okay.
advising. They have a team of people. I try cases. They have appellate attorneys sitting, just watching to see if there's a mistake they can capitalize on. And but we were successful. But I was aware there was bias. So I dealt with it first during jury selection. Before the evidence even came in, I had to talk to the jurors about it and get their feelings on it and try to figure out which ones would be good jurors and which ones I had to get rid of. And ultimately I was successful, but it's the same thing representing motorcyclists. I've been dealing with bias against my clients for a long time. And there are techniques that I've learned over time that have helped me to be successful. I lecture to other attorneys across the country on these techniques. And unfortunately, a lot of lessons I learned, not from success, but sometimes the hardest lessons you learn when you lose. I haven't lost a motorcycle accident case, I can say in probably over 25 years now.
Wow.
And I tried a lot of them in over 30 different jurisdictions. But they're hard. They're hard. And they take a lot of preparation, a lot of work. None of them are gifts. And that's not because I don't try the hard cases. Anybody that knows me, and the carriers, they know my work. Typically, my easy cases settle, and the hard cases, they figure they'll take a shot at me and they go to trial. And I can't say I've never lost a case, but I don't think I've lost a case fortunately, in quite some time. But every case, the next case I try, I could lose. I know that. It's never guaranteed. Any jury could come back with a number that I'm unhappy with. It just hasn't happened in a long time. But the next case I try, I could lose. So, and this past case there were a million ways things could have went wrong. And the fact that I did as well as I did, I've got attorneys emailing me from around the country wanting to know what I did. Literally, I got an email from an attorney from Hawaii just the other day about wanting to know about the case. So I'm always grateful when I win, but I don't take it for granted. My wife will tell you, when I'm on trial, I don't sleep all night long. I'm awake thinking about the next day, what to do, the day before, what I should have done, and it doesn't get out of my head. And then I decompress afterwards, and it's always nice to decompress when you've won. My adversary on this trial, before we picked the jury, he was so confident that he said to me, when this trial's over, I'm going to be drinking champagne. I hope he enjoyed every sip.
That's amazing. Mitch, if you don't mind, you had mentioned specific techniques, especially with motorcyclists. Like, would you say a lot of those techniques? I know, in terms of the base of it.
Well, so here's what I do.
Yeah.
Here's what I do. I try to present it as a motor vehicle accident, because a motorcycle is a type of motor vehicle.
Right.
And there are rules of the road. And rules are only worth something if they're enforced. And the rules of the road have to be enforced. And if it goes against the rider, it goes against the rider. But if it goes against the car that hits the rider, or the truck, or the bus, it should go against them. And we try to take the bias out of the case. And then when it comes to injuries, same thing. People think, oh, well, he got on a motorcycle, so his injuries were much worse than if he was in a car. That's not the law. The law is you're entitled to fair compensation for the injuries you've sustained. Fair compensation doesn't mean what you would have sustained if you were in a car instead of a motorcycle. It means the injuries you've sustained as a result of the incident that was someone else's fault.
Right.
Fair compensation. That's the juror's obligation. And you got to convince them and hold them to their obligation under the law. And a lot of lawyers are afraid to, because bias is sneaky. And it's an easy way to lose a case if you're not in front of it. And you got to get in front of it, which is why you start during jury selection, and you got to know what you're doing.
Amazing. Well, I mean, honestly, congratulations. And it's good to hear that you got a good win, and that I'm sure this can easily translate into a motorcycle case. And
No,
it can't.
No,
the techniques, the bias.
No, it's never easy.
Got it.
It's never easy.
Got it.
It takes a lot of work, but yes, with the right work and preparation, you can make sure your client gets his fair compensation and the money he's entitled to, every cent of it. And it doesn't matter that they're on a bike.
Right.
They should get what they're entitled to.
Very, very correct. Well, there you have it. Straight from the expert himself, Mitch Proner.
Rider.
Rider. And a rider.
and talking to a rider, Mel. I know I know Mel rides year round. I used to ride year round, and now my bikes are on a trickle charger. I'm getting old.
I haven't been riding these past 2 weeks. It was just too much.
I have ridden in the snow. I have. Unfortunately, it wasn't pleasant, but I got caught in the snow, and it was cold, and I've done it. I won't. It's like if you're going to ride. Well, first of all, the person that says they never ride in bad weather doesn't ride very much. Yeah. Because sometimes that's what we get stuck in. But I've ridden in all types of weather, including snow. I just don't prefer it, and I try not to do it anymore. Yeah, that's the worst, when you can't feel the brake or clutch, where you're using your palm to kind of pull it. Yeah. And warming your hands on the exhaust just to try to get some feeling back. But yeah, that's the worst. But yeah, no riding it. Just hopefully another month or so we'll be riding again. I know a lot of riders have those heated gloves. Yeah, I have a pair too. They work. Yeah, I've never had them, but I guess it's good if you're going to be doing that type of riding. You don't have heated grips even? No. Old school. Okay. No, hey, you've been riding longer, and there's many riders who've been doing that before heated gear. I've been riding 50 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it goes fast. Goes fast.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not 100 years old. I just started when I was 12 on mini
Yeah.
bikes.
Yeah, but you've definitely put more mileage than I have. I've just been mostly city riding here in the city. But yeah, I miss it though. I miss it. Even being away from it from 2 weeks, I miss it. So and I'm sure you know that feeling too.
Yeah. All right,
All
Mel.
right. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you, Mitch. If you need our help, call us 24/7 at 1-800-321-1234, where all consultations are free and confidential. That'll wrap it up for now. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's on our podcast or video broadcast. We really do appreciate. If you haven't done it yet, please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Like, share, and please subscribe to get the latest updates. Now, I know we talked a bit, but before we go, Mitch, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, like Mel, we're passionate about our riding, and I'm passionate about my work. And if you have reason to want to talk to a lawyer that's experienced, that's going to work hard for you, call us up. The consult is always free and confidential.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks again, Mitch, for another informative session, and congratulations also. And thank you all for checking us out. Remember, we ride just like you and are here to help you when you need us. We'll see you next time. Thank you again, Mitch.
Thank you.